exist.
Yeah.
Okay. I hit the record button.
Welcome back, everybody.
Wow.
We are getting back to it the day after we recorded. We had a fairly lengthy conversation with...
Yeah, and a little meeting after the meeting. But yeah, who was our guest?
Meritt from Knoxville GAC. Fantastic guest.
Yes.
Good friend and fierce competitor. Not component.
Component. Yeah, it's 24 hours later and we're still reeling. If the first episode was learning about Boston or learning about other clubs and how they're doing things, this episode was learning about ourselves. In addition to Meritt, obviously, we learned a ton and it was an awesome conversation.
Yes.
But it's definitely kind of one that inspired introspection.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
But it was a really good episode. We had a really good time recording it and talking with Meritt. And yeah, it was...
Absolutely.
Learned quite a few things.
Yeah, and one note at the top of this thing is stick around or just skip to near the end, because we didn't get to talk about her experience at the international competition in Ireland, which is remarkable. We didn't get to talk about it till the end of the conversation, so it's definitely a highlight and super interesting stuff. So I just want to point that out. If you're like, I don't know if I want to hang into this whole thing, go check that piece out. Is that fair, Noah?
Oh yeah. Talked a lot about some mindsets and kind of the work she's done off the field, and I guess she does it on the field as well, but just how her mindset is, kind of what she does to get ready for games, and how she navigates, having kids, husband, and staying competitive, and injuries, and moving, and how she's handled all of that on and off the field, and how she's constantly working on it. So it was a really good conversation, and got to learn quite a bit. So
Indeed. Hope you guys enjoy that.
Can you hear us?
How are we looking? Can you hear us? You're on mute. You're on mute. That's the problem.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
There's no echo. Okay.
Fantastic.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Been excited all week. Looking forward to this. There's just so much I want to know. I'm gonna rattle off what I do know. This isn't our first. This feels like the first time we're meeting, but it's not technically. We've met on the field. I know this because you personally humiliated me on the field and dominated in every way in a game. But I feel like I don't know that we've talked much. So this feels like a meeting. So good to meet you.
Don't feel too bad.
I know you're
a life. To me too.
Yeah, we'll get into it. We got a bone to pick with you. I see a cat there. That's cool. What's the cat's name?
This one's Bandy, like the deer.
Oh,
yeah.
Gotcha. That's cute. Yeah, I know you're a life coach. I know you're married to another hurling player, Rob. Also plays for Knoxville. Your mother.
Yes.
And you're an amazing and talented hurling and camogie player. I want to know what your sporting background is, first of all. Like, what's your athletic history, basically?
So I started playing sports. Both my parents were athletic, and so I started playing sports when I was 3, 4, and that started with soccer. And then in the summer, it was swim team and tennis. And then in elementary school, it was basketball with soccer and still playing tennis and swimming. And then I did track for a couple of seasons, and then I ran cross country to stay in shape. And then I think about sixth grade, I kind of had to choose what sport I like really wanted to play, and so that was soccer. So I did with my school. I went to a private school, so I started. I played club soccer for years, and then I did started varsity soccer when I was in seventh grade. So seventh through 12th grade,
Okay.
varsity soccer, and then some track and cross country in between.
Awesome. What about the high school years?
That was mainly club soccer in high school.
I got a nephew that plays soccer, and when he talks about it, it's like school soccer is nothing, but it's
Club.
all about club
Yeah,
soccer. Okay.
basically.
Yeah. So that's where the competition
Yeah.
is, right? Yeah. It's something I've been getting more interested in. It's like how that whole soccer system works and
Yeah.
everything.
It's definitely changed, though. I was in high school. Even now, we had, oh my God, this cat. We had the opportunity to put two of our kids in club soccer, but just, I don't know. Rob and I are enjoying like our time playing hurling. And it's just such a
Yeah.
commitment, and it's so much more expensive. Um, it used to be, and I don't know. I think with a lot of things lately, it's a lot of politics and kind of who you know and all of that. So
How many kids do you have?
we have we
And
have
how old are they?
three. So Bash is 11,
Okay.
Tesla is 10, and will be 9 in a couple weeks. Yeah,
Wow. That's
yeah,
amazing.
And they're all pretty cool kids as well.
yeah. They are.
I got to
No
spend
doubt, I'm sure.
spend some time in Montana with Bash and Rob. It was a good time.
That's awesome. Um, yeah, so I mean, it sounds like you started athletics at a young
Mm-hmm.
age. That probably built a great foundation and gave you the kind of language of movement where you can kind of pick up a crazy sport like hurling in your adult years with relative ease. Am I on the right track? Does that resonate?
Yeah, I
Yeah, we get a lot of folks that they never played sports and it's really tough. And the ones that have some background, obviously, it's
mhm.
easier.
Yeah, I think soccer definitely transfers well over to hurling, just with field
Yeah.
position.
How long have you been playing hurling?
Um, so we started playing down in Charleston, South Carolina, um,
Hmm.
and I don't know. I think I technically started playing when I was like 7 months pregnant with um, one of the kids. I don't know. So Rob was like, just come down to the field and then hold the hurl and hit it a couple of times, and so that's what I did. So
Okay. That's
I
awesome.
think we did, or I did, because I don't know. That timeline is like such a blur. But I think I played 3 seasons maybe in Charleston, and then we moved to North Carolina for 4 years, so we didn't play anything because there was nothing around. And then I've been with Knoxville for this will be our 5th season with Knoxville.
Wow.
So
That's awesome. So, I mean, I'd call it sounds like about 10 years, right?
yeah, I mean,
With some
yeah, there
breaks.
were oh yeah, and then I got hurt, so it was like I don't know 5 consecutive, I guess, plus 3, so like 8. Yeah,
Okay. Did you get hurt playing?
hmm
Dang, that
yeah,
sucks.
it was a concussion. So
Oh my
Yeah, I was
gosh.
at a Greensville tournament.
Wow. When was this?
Um, I don't know. I think when I was with Charleston, but I've had one more, two more. I don't know. I'm just very cautious about my head. Yeah, so
Concussions.
I'm very cautious about my head. So
Yeah, rightly so.
I don't know for.
Yeah, that's no joke. I don't see a lot personally of concussions in the sport. I know from my own experience, once you start getting them, it's easier to
Hmm.
keep getting them. Um,
Yeah.
I had one in Little Rock a couple years ago, and I didn't know it was a concussion until I went to convention and they had a doctor come in and talk about concussions, and was like, "Yeah, if you start having really bad headaches all the time, and just getting dizzy from time to time, and just all these other symptoms," and I was like, "Oh, that's what that was. I had a concussion 6 months ago."
oh
Yeah.
gosh.
I know, and it depends on the person. Like mine, I was out for almost 2, 3 years just because I couldn't run without like seeing black for a long time. So I had a
Oh my
really,
gosh.
actually, that was coming up here too. So I think I sat out like the first season up here. Um, but I don't know. I just,
Wow, that's pretty incredible to have that kind of level of injury, kind of be out for 2 years, and you're on your way back. I mean, not on your way, you're back. You're like you've been fully back. I'm just thinking about the journey to even want to step on the field
mhm.
again, uh, much less do it and have so much success doing that. I mean, can you talk about that at all?
Well, it definitely changed me as a player because how I got it was I went up to, I guess, catch the ball, and two people came together basically, and so they just took me out. So you won't
Mm,
really see me go up for a ball. I'd rather it just go over my head and then run. um,
hmm
so
and that's a fair and safe play in this
yeah,
league. You are it's like most likely no one's catching it.
yeah,
You're good.
and well, and especially playing hurling, most of the guys are a lot taller than I am. So I'm
hmm
also not going to go up against somebody who's 6 foot and win the ball at this stage of my life.
hmm
So I'd rather, I don't know, my blocking, I still need to work on my blocking, but I'm still scared of it.
right. I'm always like begging someone to put it in my ear hole. Like,
Oh,
please
yeah,
just
yeah.
right in the side of my head. So it changed you as a
Hmm.
player. How else?
Um, I mean, I don't know. I had to, like, not playing. I identified myself as an athlete for so long. And then once I was done playing soccer in college, I was like, I don't know how to identify myself anymore. Like, I didn't play sports for a while just because I was so burnt out. And then picked up hurling down in Charleston. So that was good. And then, I don't know. When I got injured, just had time to reflect and then just asking myself kind of who am I at this point in my life, and understanding that I'm not going to be the same competitor as I once was. um, like I have a family now, so my priorities change too. um, so it was a good pause in my journey to just reflect on who I am and learning not to hold on to such, or not holding so tightly to just one identity, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes total sense to me. I resonate so hard with a lot of that. I feel. definitely in the middle of, well, when I was involved in leadership, definitely my identity was super informed by the hurling club, and I was like a little too tightly holding on to that, like you
Mm-hmm.
say. Then had the crisis of that for a bunch of personal things. So broke that identity, and now it's like I'm trying to find my competitive edge as well, being a new young dad, and I think I'm young. Uh, the baby's young, uh, and like, yeah, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was maintain that competitive edge um, with kids and family and all these responsibilities. Because I definitely am struggling with it personally. I would love to hear Noah if you relate as well, because me and you have talked about leadership and how tightly we hold on to this club and stuff.
Yeah, for me, I mean, right now, obviously, my identity is all wrapped up in this sport, and my competitive. I feel like I overdid myself last year with trying to be competitive, and now I'm having to take a step back this year and kind of just like, all right, well, get back to focus on running the club and making sure everyone else is having a good time. But every day that I see Merritt out there hitting against her side of her house, I'm like,
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. I'm seeing the
Merritt's
reels.
training.
I get it.
She's
Yeah.
she's already 10 times better than me, and she's still
Yeah.
training. I need to get outside and do
Dude,
something. So
that's, football coaches would always be like, whenever we were running sprints or something dumb, they'd be like, the other guys aren't doing this. You know what I mean? Like, they're not out here training. And that wasn't true at the time, but like now at this point in life, it probably, like, Merritt's the only one doing it. It's like maybe 10 out of 100, are doing it, maybe less. Um, but yeah, they're always inspiring. Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
We struggle with it. So yeah.
I
Merritt, does having that concussion. Sorry, go ahead.
oh go ahead.
I was just gonna say, did it like, do you think about that every time you go on the field? Because I
Mm.
know I've had some injuries, and like every time I go to do something, I'm like, oh, that's how you get injured last time. Like, don't do that. Like,
Yeah, well,
I just
yeah, I thought about it um, at Worlds, but most of the time, no. Um, like I got hit, like I actually did a good block in Tampa. I blocked it like this, so my face was like this, and they just came through and like hit me right here. And my immediate reaction was like, "Oh shit!" And because it scares me. But no, I don't know. I don't think about it. I just because I've definitely stepped back, anyways, from a competitive level. So no, I guess not as much as I should. But although I feel like the more I do think about it, the more likely it would happen, like a bad one. But I don't know.
oh no, that's absolute that's 100% fair. I know, I'm a everything negative that can happen is running through my head on the field all the time. And since I've been listening to your podcast, I've really been trying to fix
Oh,
that. But
I can help you with that.
um, yeah, I actually listened to your podcast today, and the latest episode today, and I was like, man, I really have to fix that on the field because it is not good. 'Cause I was in a state in Tampa, so
Mm,
yeah.
yeah,
So thank you for your podcast.
yeah. I mean, the one with the model, I still use that. Um, and like even
Can you share what you're talking about?
oh well, yes, I actually have it on my board because I was doing videos about it. But okay, I'm gonna try to keep this short. So the model is basically
Okay.
like a universal truth. So your thoughts create your feelings create your actions or your inactions, your behavior habits, and those create your results in life. So with the model, Brooke Castillo broke it down in a way. that you have your circumstance. So the thing that you are struggling with. So my example is my body. That's your circumstance. So what thoughts do you think about your body? And you write down your thought about it. Then how do you feel when you think that thought about your body? And then what do you do when you feel this way, when you think this thought about your body? And then what's your current result with that? So the result should be something that's measurable, like time, weight, money, that type of thing. And so this is because our brains are like computers, they like efficiency. And we have these neural pathways that have been created since we were young. And a lot of times we take something negative that happened. I don't know why I'm getting nervous talking about this. Okay. I just did a podcast on it too. Okay. Hang on. Let me take a breath. Okay.
Yeah, take your time. We don't know shit. We're eating this up. This is great for us. Me and Noah, and we're not trying to get a free session of work out of
No.
you either. We are just two dumb boys that need as much
I
help as
am.
we can get.
No,
No.
I love talking about this stuff. But I can talk about it for like such a long time. So I don't want to like
Sure.
over talk about it. But
Okay.
anyway, so a lot of times when we're young, we have a negative experience or we experience something and our brains kick into like survival mode and we have a reaction. And the more we feel a similar experience happen, our brains are going to be like, oh, remember when we felt this way last time? We did this. And so it's kind of like the more you do something, the more you do something. So the more times you react to this negative thought of, I hate my body, the more times you're going to react in a negative way to, I hate my body, because that's what you're thinking. So that's what creates those neural pathways.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of times, our thoughts from childhood carry over to adulthood, but they aren't serving us anymore. Like, it's hard to be confident when you're always thinking about, I hate my body. Because most of my clients, or a lot of my clients, have body image issues or like relationship with food. That's not a good relationship. So, and so the model is a good way to take a step back and just become aware of what you're actually thinking. And I like to do like, why do you think this thought to begin with? Like, why are you believing this thought? Because thoughts aren't facts, they come and go, just like emotions come and
Mm-hmm.
go. But we latch on to certain thoughts because we think about them over and over again, which then become our beliefs. So that's what we believe about ourselves. And to break that, you just have to become aware of what's actually going on in your brain and kind of challenge those negative thoughts. Like for me today, right now, why am I still thinking this thought? And, you come up with an answer. Say, is this serving me?
You kind of got to like start analyzing, and are you kind of like journaling, and do you create some kind of log of all this
Yeah,
stuff?
well, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but yeah, so
I see a lot of interesting things I would love to get into on your board. I assume it's all free for questioning because you have the opportunity to erase it. I see a lot of good
no,
stuff up there.
yeah, I was working on it. But I can hang on.
Nice.
Let me do this. I can show you, so it'll kind of make sense. Um, let me get to it. Okay.
That's
I like
Cue the
that
New
one.
You podcast on Spotify.
Oh yeah. So I have
Yeah.
It's written out. So I have
Oh,
my
nice.
current model. So this is what I currently think. Um,
Okay, we're looking at a
yeah.
workbook that you designed this, you published this?
Yeah, it's part of my course.
That's awesome.
So in the C line, that's your circumstance. So it's a thing that essentially you're struggling with, you have a problem with. So it could be business. So your circumstance is not an opinion and it's not a thought, it's a fact. So, like my body, my business, my boss. Um, then you have your T line, so your thought line, and you write down your thought about that circumstance. So it's set up like this. So then you have your F line, your feelings line, then your action, habits, behavior, then your result line. Um, I mean, I can read the example if you want, but
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. I love how it is so clearly labeled and like, I don't know, almost it's begging to be filled
yeah,
out. You know
yeah,
what I mean? I like that. If it was just like a blank journal page, you know, some of our minds, mine in particular, need some more like
yeah,
prompting,
yeah.
stuff like that.
Um, but so with this, so you have, what you're currently thinking, how you're feeling, your current result, but you also have your future model. So you take the same circumstance.
Mm,
So this is um, my business. So I have put my business in my future model as well. And the result can change. So this is an example, but the result I have currently is 0 clients. But my goal is to have 10 clients. So my circumstance is still my business, but my result has changed because this is a new goal that I want to achieve. So if I take my current thinking and put it into my future goal, that's probably not going to get me to the 10 clients, right? Because I'm thinking this negative thought and my actions are like procrastinating or hiding or not doing the work, that type of thing. So my
hmm
future self needs to think, okay, if I were to sign 10 clients, what is a thought I could think? And then what is a feeling? What's a feeling I feel when I think this new thought? So you want it to be, obviously more positive. So this example, so goes, the thought was, why are there crickets? And my future thought is, I offer so much value. So when I think I offer so much value, that just makes me feel more confident in what I'm doing. And
mm,
so when I'm confident, what are my actions? So usually when I'm confident, I don't know, post more stories or put my offer out there more. I don't know, record a podcast. You think about your
hmm
future self when you're feeling confident. And so what I like to teach is the bridge to get from your current self to your future self, so who you want to be. Um, and with that comes with a lot of different other tools. But I really like the model,
Gotcha.
and I've definitely used that like for hurling. It's like, why do I think
Yeah.
this thought? What do I think this about myself now? Like, how can I change that on the field to, because I still struggle with um, my confidence on the field. Like, I know I'm an
Hmm.
athlete, but I still struggle with not feeling good enough. So then I ask myself, if I felt good enough and if I was confident, how would I play? And
Mm.
most of the time, it changes how I play. So,
I know we wanted to talk to you about this, and this kind of runs in the same vein, but do you have anything that you do to get ready for games, whether that's mentally or just like a pre-game, like thing that you do before every game, anything like that?
Um, really just listening to music, trying to get some damn coffee in before the matches. Sometimes like you got to be there at 7:30 because you play at 8. Um,
Right.
but no, I mean,
What kind of music? Tell us.
oh gosh. So I don't know. I feel like lately I've just been getting more nervous than normal. And so I like calming music. So it's basically just
Mm.
Taylor Swift or Noah Kahn. Um, but I do like having, so like on the way to the field, well, the night before and on the way to the field, I kind of visualize, you know, I can pick the ball up. If I catch the ball, I do this, that type of thing. Um,
Hmm.
and then I really like to have just like 5 minutes to myself, by myself, listening to music, just thinking. um,
Yeah.
and then it also helps when Rob is there because we like to zone in, is what we call it. So we just do hand passes and we just kind of warm up. But I don't know. That's usually what I do.
That's so cool. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, my memory of playing against you was that you seemed really calm, cool, and collected on the field. And I don't
Mm.
know if that's how you feel on the field or if that's what you're going for. That's like how I remembered it. Kind of like you kind of disappear and then reappear at the perfect spot.
Oh,
And so hearing that you're like, what?
no,
What'd you say?
I was laughing at that because yeah, I like to time my runs.
Okay. Um, but yeah, so it sounds like your pregame process is designed to kind of calm you down, zone you in, and it's not like this sort of like amped up, you
No,
know, kind of crazy process.
no, I like calm.
Yeah. Awesome. Any crazy nicknames or alter egos you have for yourself or that other people have labeled you with?
Um, so my nickname is Murt, Murt. Um,
Okay.
I got that like 10 years ago. Um, and then somebody,
Has it stuck? Has it applied to the KGAC?
yeah, I mean, that's what a lot of people call me, or
Okay.
Mayor. But then we have two Jeremys on the team. So, like, I always shorten people's names. So I'm always like Jer. But if somebody else is like Jer, I'm like, what?
Man.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. That's funny.
but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what, if like other teams have any names for me.
I got a question for you. Oh, if any other teams have nicknames for you?
Hmm.
Is that what you
Yeah.
said? That's an interesting
Like
question.
somebody was like,
Um,
"You're a monster in the middle," and then I was like, "Oh, I kind of like that, like Monster Mert."
yeah, hell yeah. That's the alter ego right there, I think.
That's a solid name.
Yeah. Um, what is wings up, roots down? What is that? Do you know what that
Oh my
is?
gosh, I should be on top of that.
I mean, because you're here as Merritt Mert, the monster of the middle, but you're also here as, the representative of the KGAC and of Knoxville, of all of Knoxville.
Yeah, I
So you're telling me you don't
I feel
know?
like that's a lot of pressure. Um, no, I don't know. Ben has been saying that, and he gives amazing speeches. Um,
Oh,
and
really?
oh yeah,
I guess I should have guessed that. I should have guessed.
yeah,
I want to hear a speech.
Fantastic speeches.
yeah.
Oh, you've
Fantastic.
gotten one, Noah?
Oh, we got a lot at
Mm.
Worlds. There was
Oh,
quite a few. Well, and I
I
was even going to say that
yearn.
beforehand. Like, is music just as like a really big part of y'all's club? Because I know you were talking about, you like listening to music before.
Mhm.
I know Ben's always got a speaker out, even for
Yeah.
practices, before games. I know when we were in Derry, he was in charge of the music. He had it going the whole time while we were in locker room and stuff. So is that just a big part of y'all's club, just always listening to music?
Um, yeah, I mean, especially if he's around. But yeah, I mean, I listen to music all the time anyway. So, um,
I didn't
How do you?
know if. Go ahead.
No, you.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, if like Ben wasn't around, if y'all would still have a music system out there to play music during practice and things like that.
um, I would say no because I don't think anybody would take the time to set that up.
Fair enough.
But I think
Um,
that is a Ben question. That's
yeah,
wings up,
we'll save
roots
that for
down.
Ben. Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah. Does when you're approaching a game and you're preparing for it, you're visualizing and all that,
Mhm.
does it change if it's hurling or camogie?
No, because I haven't really played camogie much. Like last year for Worlds, was the most camogie I had ever played. Um, just because
Okay.
Charleston, we didn't have an official camogie team. We had a few girls on the team, but it was always co-ed. And then I would jump on Atlanta's team at like the Greenville tournament. I played with them once. Um, and then, I've been the only consistent uh, girl for Knoxville the last 5 years.
Yeah. And
So,
that's remarkable that, I mean, my wife plays and she's played with NGAC. She doesn't have an athletic background, but I know, being around her, kind of like what it takes to get on the field with a bunch of guys and for you to do it for so long, um, just kind of strikes me as interesting, admirable. I'm curious. And it sounded like earlier, it sounded like Rob started first
mhm.
playing. Is that right? And kind of roped you into it. I'm curious, out of all the sports that you've played and have experience with, why is hurling kind of what you've stuck with as an adult?
um, it's just different. It's fun. Um, there are just certain things I want to get better at every season.
Yeah.
Um, I also started jujitsu when I was down in Charleston, which I never done I didn't even know what that was, but I was like, I need to do something active. And I think that was, I guess I played hurling before jujitsu, but it's kind of like
Mm.
with BJJ, it's just challenging and it's fun and there's no pressure. Like it's not a profession and I'm not, under any pressure to get a scholarship from anywhere or anything like that. So it's more just about the community and just having fun, but also doing something active and exercising and being outside.
Do you think there's like a nice marriage of competition and pressure or lack of pressure that is nice as an adult? Like it's interesting enough and like I'm trying to think of another adult sport where you kind of get this. I mean, I think of things like rugby and um, but there's not a whole lot of. So it's like there's spectrum: rugby or softball, I guess. You know what I mean, or like kickball.
Hmm.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like, is hurling in the middle of that?
Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, there's always games where like I want to play really well because I want to beat this team. So,
Mm,
um, but I don't know. I and again, I'm also like not the player I once was, and I think that has a lot to do with just my mindset has changed. So, um, I'm kind of also learning I don't need to play perfectly all the time either. So it's just
Mm.
more fun for me. I don't know. I don't really know how to answer it. I just love playing.
And you said the cultural or the community,
Hmm.
maybe you said community aspect of it kind of keeps you around. I'm super curious about y'all's local community and everything and what the vibe is and how it works and all that stuff. Kind of just around the stuff that happens on the field. What are you guys getting it as a family unit off?
Like, what do we do off the field? Is that what you said?
Sure.
Um, we well after practices, a few of us will go get a drink um, because Alliance sponsors um, our team, and so we go over there after practices, and then I don't know. We made some really good friends on the team that we see every other week outside of hurling. Um, so I mean, we moved specifically to Knoxville for hurling, but it was also when we were in North Carolina, we came over for their tournament, I guess 6 years ago. And they just like welcomed, I don't know why I wasn't playing at that time, but maybe because I was still hurt. But, anyways, they like welcomed Rob on the team and they had just this, I don't know, welcoming vibe. And we were like, okay, this may be the team for us to play with. And so we moved here for that. And ever since then,
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah, ever since then, it's been great. Just like getting to know people.
Yeah. And y'all win. That's a big thing. Y'all win.
We won some, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious if the friends y'all hang out with kind of outside of hurling, do they have kids? Like I know it's hard to make friends and keep friends that if you got kids, sometimes they don't, or maybe your kids are old enough that doesn't matter. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, wait. So the people I hang outside, or I hang out with outside of the hurling team. Okay, wait. What was your question?
It seemed like you're um do are you hanging out with people that are also GA people um that have kids? Like are there more families in the club
Oh,
like yours?
yes. Yeah. Um,
Awesome. How many kids would you say are kind of running around y'all's club,
ooh, okay.
or how many family units?
There, there are
Here,
quite a few kids. Like two. Okay, three, nine. I don't know. I'd say in between 16 and 20 kids. I don't know. Some have just had
wow.
kids. Actually, probably more. There's a couple.
Okay, do you want to know the Nashville number is probably like 2 or 3.
Oh yeah, yeah. So in Charleston,
Yeah, at most.
um, I think we were the only ones who had kids for a long time. Like until we left, that's when people started having kids. So like for me, I mean, we took our kids to practices. We took our kids to tournaments. Like we took our kids everywhere. Um, so it was weird coming up here because there were already kids, like kids, my kids' ages up here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are they going to play, or what's the deal with that? I mean, do your kids play? Are they talking about getting the kids to play, or?
I mean, eventually having a kids club would be awesome. My Bash has hit around a few times at practices. Um, and like the girls will come out and hit like twice and then they're like, all right, I'm done. But I don't know. They
I think I, I think some organizers, if they heard Knoxville had 10 kids from parents that play in the club, they'd be licking their lips trying to get youth development going. But one of the things that Knoxville does that I think is wise and good is they're so focused on kind of manageable goals. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Well, that's why we only have hurling. Like, we don't have the football side of it. So our main focus is just hurling, or, camogie if there were other women. But
yeah, like 15 other women. Like, it
yeah,
seems like y'all wouldn't start camogie unless you had like a
a
lot of
lot.
other, not a handful, but yeah, probably the same is true with youth development. It would be kind of need to be a ton.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where that goes in the future.
Yeah. I mean, I think about Nashville and the members that have come through here, and really the pattern we've seen is people will have kids and leave. They leave
Mm-hmm.
town. They don't like kind of stay here with their kids. That's starting to change a little bit, maybe. But
Yeah.
no, you look like you want to say something.
Oh, I was going to say, I know a few people in Charleston who, once they had kids, they didn't come back out to play, which I think is sad because,
Right.
adults need adult interactions too. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to do something that you enjoy, because that's going to make you a better parent in the long run, especially if you can, get some emotions out on the field, or do something, or just talk to other people. Um, so I think it's sad when they have kids and then they don't come back for a while,
Are you
at least.
listening, Buckley? I want you to listen up.
I mean,
Yeah, no, actually, I'm going to move to Chattanooga.
I would not be surprised.
but
No, I mean,
everybody's situation is different. It worked out for me and Rob just because we were both playing, and we just took our kids with us.
right. Yeah, the answer is everybody's spouse should be playing. Everybody should be having kids and staying in the city or staying near the club. And that way, I mean, the demographic, I feel, okay, maybe this isn't true for Knoxville, actually. But a lot of people that play hurling suck at recruiting for hurling, but they could have a family, and in 10 years they could have some youth program going.
Yeah.
That's just another way to grow the sport organically, and the community building aspect of it, I think, is a huge asset.
Mm-hmm.
What all do y'all do for recruitment in Knoxville?
You
Is there
know,
anything in particular?
we, I mean, we posted flyers around. A lot of times, I know one of our friends, Zach, he brought 4 people um, to come out and play, but it's mainly just word of mouth, or somebody randomly sees us practice, and then they want to try it. But
How many players do you have right now?
um, we, I don't know. I guess around 5 show up at practice. Well, 20.
That's a practice number? That's crazy. That's rare. You
Yeah,
I don't
that
think I'm
may
saying
be.
that's crazy just for Nashville. I think that's crazy for any Southeast.
Yeah, well, that was really for pub league, I guess, right? Because you have 2 teams, and if it's sevens, that's 14. I guess 20, around 20 most of the time.
Okay. Okay.
But then you
Yeah,
have
practice
people,
is tough.
who come once every 3 weeks or something like that.
Right. Totally. Yeah, it's hard to get people out.
Merritt, just because I've always kind of been curious and never actually noticed it when y'all have been playing, but do you and Rob play on the same line, or do y'all
No,
Or let me rephrase that. Can y'all play on the same line with each other,
no,
or do y'all play? You have to play like on opposite sides of the fields.
I can't do defense. He's like, I don't want you back here. Now, if he were to move up in the field, then yeah, um, we could play with each other, but not on defense. So,
Fair enough.
and then usually for pub league, we're on opposite. Are you talking about like when we're on the same team?
Yeah, just in general. I've honestly like I've watched I watched y'all play a lot of Camogie games last year, just because I happened to be at a lot of the same tournaments where you were playing,
Mhm.
and I've never noticed where both of y'all play at on the field when y'all were both on the field at the same
Mm,
time. So I didn't know if it's something like y'all worked really well on the field together and you played roughly on the same line, or if it's
no,
like, hey, I need you up there, like, because I'm gonna have to yell at you if you're back here playing with
yeah,
me, because that's how I am with some people. So I didn't know how that worked with y'all living together and then playing on the same team and all that. So
no. That's how he is with me. He's like, if you're back here, get your ass up. Like, I don't want you anywhere back here. I usually play in front of him.
What is the post game ritual for you guys if things went south?
Like
Are we having any
for
fights about the game in the car on the way to the pub, or
you talking about
what's the
like
mood?
between me and Rob?
Yeah,
Um, you
is
know,
there finger pointing?
no. Um, okay, no. Well, no. I
Okay.
want to say like life ebbs and flows. Our marriage ebbs and flows. So we can definitely we've gone through some rough patches like lately, or and not lately, but in the past with. And then we play at a game, and it's you know, well, I don't know. People can tell that something's off, but something's off. So,
Interesting.
um, so it's kind of not all like you should have done this or um, I could have done this better. It's more
Mm-hmm.
kind of that just builds into kind of what we're already dealing with,
Yeah,
if that
that
makes
deep,
sense.
quiet resentment.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, totally. Um, uh, Something I learned about myself that I didn't know until I was married and we were playing together and everything was that on the way to a game, I cannot. If you try to engage me on almost any topic, we're gonna fight about it. Like on the way to a game, I'm like, I cannot talk to anybody or whatever. And I think it's like that visualization thing you were talking
Mhm.
about. I think I do that. And I'm already playing. Like, so any disruption of that, I'm gonna attack. Like, I don't know where we're gonna eat or whatever. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like we're gonna fight.
Yeah.
That's just and then usually afterwards, we're like, okay, yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what was.
You're visualizing.
Right, totally. That's all part of the plan here. Okay. Relax. I feel like Noah might have been telling me about some drama. I don't know if it was you. Tell me if this rings a bell. It was a tournament and it was Noah giving me the hand signal. um of like,
I
hey,
actually have no idea what you're talking about at the moment. So
okay, all will be revealed. No, I
Okay.
don't think it's that serious. It's like you some kind of tournament. I don't know at what level, but they didn't want you playing with the men. Was that you? Was that
Oh,
something else?
that was
yeah, I
for
think for divisionals,
mhm,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so this is divisionals. Where is that? When was this?
Um, I don't know what 2 years ago. I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say 21 or 22.
Yeah,
Um,
because the Southeast, only one team from the Southeast can go to nationals. And so, at nationals, I can't play. If Knoxville were to go, whoa, but if Knoxville were to go, oh my gosh, sorry, words are hard for me sometimes. Okay, if Knoxville were to go to nationals, I couldn't play with them. And that was the case
Wow.
for the divisional, which is sad. But
Yeah, what are your thoughts and feelings on it?
uh,
I know my thoughts and feelings on it, but they're ignorant and uninformed, so you have a better perspective.
I feel like mine are just selfish. So I don't know. So I don't know. It's not like I'm this like special human, but I I've been a part of this team for so long, and I've been playing against all you other boys in the southeast for so long.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, why does it make a difference when it's at a higher level? Um, but then,
Right, and is it a higher level? Like, what level was it? It's a higher tournament, but what's the
well,
coding? Like, was it junior B
no, it was
or
junior
like
D.
yeah. So it's an interesting rule to have at a level like that, in my opinion, or interesting rule to have and enforce. Like, because you're right. I mean, I don't know. Context seems to matter. So it seems like anybody with a couple eyes can tell you positively affect the game. So it seems like for the wrong reasons to want to prevent you from playing. And if you want to say, oh, well, rules are rules, we can't break those, well, then that's definitely one that makes sense to examine if we want to encourage folks to engage with the sport. Most women are going to have to do that
Hmm.
with men at first, I think. That's just kind of the nature of the landscape at the moment, demographically.
Yeah,
It's like, doesn't make any sense at the low levels.
yeah. I mean, especially in the southeast, because like the closest team to me is Atlanta. They're like 3.5, 4 hours away. Um, so it's not like I can go down there every week and practice. So,
Right.
and then you get out west where the states are a little bit bigger, um, and there's just not, there's not as many camogie
Yeah.
teams
Not opportunities.
as hurling
Yeah,
teams.
totally.
So it's like if I want to play the sport, then I'm going to play with the boys. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. I picked this up, in my 20s. So I don't know the history of hurling or like the history of camogie because like even at Worlds we had to wear those. I'm going to refrain from saying that word, but those skort things. And like we're like, why do we have to wear these? But it's
Oh,
like,
wait, what's the word? We can't say that. I don't know the word. What is the is it? I'm
oh,
not asking you to say it, but
I was just gonna say, why do I have to wear the stupid skort when
okay.
in the U.S. we wear shorts. We aren't required to wear that,
Yeah,
but
that's they had
um,
like a dress code.
yeah. So,
Wow.
but I don't know, and I want to respect the history and the heritage of the sports and all that, especially in Ireland. Um, but it's a little bit
Sure,
different.
sure, sure.
Um, it's a little bit different over in the U.S. So,
Yeah, a little bit different. We got some freedom over here.
yeah,
Not to be disrespectful, but this is a podcast for Americans. So any Irish folk listening, with respect, off to your own podcasts.
yeah.
um,
But it's like I did a video because Rob and I were practicing for Worlds, so we would practice a lot, and I showed him like, why are you doing this instead of doing this? Because if you do this, you could beat your man, whatever. So he's like,
mhm,
I didn't know that.
mhm.
So why don't we make a video about it? And, in all my videos, I'm like, oh, I'm practicing hurling. But I got so much
Yeah.
backlash for saying I play hurling. And I assume they're mainly all
Really?
Irish dudes who commented, like, it's not hurling, it's called camogie.
Yeah,
And
that's
I'm like,
awesome though.
I'm sorry. So my team consists of all females now when they're all boys? Like, that doesn't make sense. Because and then I was like, it's kind of, but I was like,
Wake up, get
Ireland,
real, dude.
Ireland is like this big, right? You can travel around Ireland in, I don't know, a day. And then you get to the
30,
US,
30 minutes. Yeah.
and the US is like this big. So we don't have,
Right.
not every town
Yeah,
has
there's just not
a
opportunities.
pitch. Not every town knows what hurling is or knows what camogie is. So I I did put up a video to defend that, but then I was like, I don't need to defend that because what I'm doing over here is none of your business over there. Like,
Yeah. You absolutely do not need to defend it, but if you want to, though, you can definitely drive some traffic to your socials with some hate. The haters, those are views too. So I'm always trying to think of something controversial I can say about pot. I make pottery, okay, so I have to post on social media about it.
mhm.
I'm always thinking of something I can really stir people up, but sounds like you accidentally are riling up the incels in Ireland, being like, "Hey, that's not right."
Yeah.
But so you might think about diving in, but then again, it's not like they're gonna buy your coaching either. We got to start wrapping this thing up. So, with Noah's permission, shall we do some rapid fire?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. What TV are you watching?
What TV shows am I watching?
Yeah, if you watch TV.
Um, Queer Eye, the new season of.
Rapid fire, rapid
Okay,
fire.
Queer Eye.
Okay, new season of Queer Eye.
Mhm.
Okay. When uh, holding the hurling stick, is your non-dominant hand on the top or the bottom?
Non-dominant is on the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Wait.
Oh,
Wait.
take your time, but it is rapid fire.
Dominant hand is on the bottom. Non-dominant's on top.
Okay, that's how I do it too.
Okay.
Yeah. If you could snap your fingers and acquire a skill, what would it be?
Oh shit. To be
Quick,
able
quick, quick.
to speak, public speaking.
Okay. Favorite camogie or hurling player?
Oh no, I don't have one.
That's fair. That's fair. Favorite snack?
I don't really eat like
She doesn't snack,
snack.
ladies and gentlemen.
Wait,
That's fine.
I mean, I just bought some Quest chips. So Quest chips.
Oh, let's pause. Let's dive into that. What is that?
Oh, Quest chips. They're like protein chips.
Okay, I love a chip. Oh, interesting. I have to make a note about this.
I saw this girl.
We're always trying to get more protein.
Yeah, when we were on vacation, I saw this lady eating these chips, and she had like a ripped body. I was like, oh man, can I know this is weird. Can I ask you what you're eating? She was like, oh, Quest chips. I'm like, okay.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm always asking hot people what they eat. Speaking of food, now thinking, I need a meal. I need it to be my favorite meal. What is that?
Oh, pesto pasta.
Oh, nice.
Great choice.
Here's a funny one I think about because yeah, I think about it. If you're gonna hurling is a shitty name for America. Okay, if you're gonna rename the sport of hurling, what's it called? First thought.
Oh my gosh, I don't like being put on the spot. I don't know.
You can say pass. That's an option.
Okay.
You got one more.
Pass. I can't come up with a good one.
Okay. Last question is coming from Noah, and I'm putting him on the spot.
What's your favorite Irish team, Meritt?
Cheater. He's reading from a list. We're not asking that one. Okay. Yeah. We'll ask it.
Oh, were you asking me what I would rename Hurling? Because I don't have an answer. I That's the first time I'm seeing that as well, and I'd have to
Oh,
ponder on that for a week or so.
yeah, everyone should ponder on that because I don't think you know it's I don't think Gaelic football is the true name of Gaelic football, right? Like, or
Um,
is hurling even the true name? Like, hurling's already an anglicized or English name of, isn't it? It's something else. Am I wrong? Come on, or something like that. So I think names are important, um, but so is branding and marketing. Anyway, that's
yeah.
that rant over. Um, and that's the quickfire section over. And
Before you go and we end this, can you give us a 2 to 3 minute recap of Worlds from your perspective,
mm,
your point of view? Not because I know you went over there, you put a lot of time and effort into it, like most of everyone that went from the southeast. But you and the girls that were representing Camogie for the southeast, y'all did a really good job. So I just kind of wanted to get what your viewpoint on that whole trip was.
Um, I think it's, I don't think it has fully sunk in just because, and again, I touched on the point, like, I still feel like I'm not good enough as an athlete. And so to me, and then I was a co captain of our team and kind of stepping into that leadership role. And then going into every game, I was just so anxious because, um, deep down, I wanted to prove to myself that I can do this. And so most of the time, it was a lot of anxiety. And because I didn't know what to expect from the other teams either. Um, but, we had such a good group of people on our team, and we came together in such a beautiful way, especially for the final game. And uh, we really connected as a team, which really helped me. And then it was also amazing that a lot of Southeast boys were there too, because y'all would come support us, and then we would watch as many of y'all's games as we could too. So just having our little Southeast community there was amazing. Um, and just playing in Ireland was incredible. Meeting the local team, like our twin team, was incredible. And everybody was just awesome. Like it was such a fun, I almost said experiment experience. Um, then also, like, we did a friendly scrimmage with the drum camogie team, and so that was really cool, like, to play against an Irish team. And then the parade was a lot of fun. There were a ton of people there, and then at the end, pretty
wow,
sure everybody got sick, um, but it was a great time. So
it's not so. So you had this anxiety, but
yeah,
like it sounds like it turned out pretty good.
yeah, there were a few people there who were definitely my support system. Because I definitely had a breakdown the night before the final game, um, which I think needed to happen because going into the final game, I was definitely more calm and just more relaxed and confident, and not so, I need to do this, I want to do this, like, I have to win, I have to play this way, like putting so much pressure on myself. Um, and so that kind of created this vulnerable moment with the team because we had like a team dinner and the night before, and that's kind of just where we came together as a team so beautifully in that moment. And then we carried that onto the field the next day. So that's probably the best memory, just because it was such a growing lesson for me. And then just to be around those people was amazing. And then I was able to then enjoy what little time I had left in dairy to walk around and actually like take in what I was looking at. So, and then we did some more traveling after that. But, so yeah,
That's awesome. Sounds amazing.
it was.
Noah,
She's
you were
also
there.
leaving out. She's also leaving out the fact that she won MVP as well. But
There it is.
Yeah.
yeah,
I was not expecting that. I was hugging a teammate, and this guy was like, "I need you to come over here." And I thought, I don't know, I thought he was gonna like interview me. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm not the person you want to interview. I was like, I need the other captain. Get the other captain because she could interview. And he's like, no, I just need you. I'm like, no, I need the other captain. He's like, no, I just need you. You are getting an award. I'm like, what? He's like, you're getting an award. I was like, oh, how's my hair look? But that was a cool moment
That's hilarious.
because that was unexpected. I am very proud of that, though.
it's well deserved. I watched a lot of those games, or as many as
Oh,
I could. It was definitely well
well,
deserved.
thank you.
So
That's amazing. Congrats on all that. Do the kids treat you differently or what? Do they treat you with a little more respect?
No, no. I tried to, which I'm wearing our World's jersey right now, and it has
Okay.
Rob's company, Knoxville Harness on it. But anyways, no,
That's awesome.
I tried to, you know, teach my kids technique in sports, and they're like, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm like, okay, I guess you don't think I know what I'm talking about. You do you, and
Wow.
then I will teach you when I guess you come to me when you're ready. But
That's so funny. I would listen to my father, and then I got to the high school level and realized, wait, didn't know what he was talking about. So I had like the opposite issue.
oh yeah,
He had like no athletic background. Yeah, funny. Well, anything else from anybody?
um,
Thanks so much for
Meritt,
coming
thank you
on.
for coming on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. No, I don't know. I was trying.
Plug your socials. Plug your socials.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I was trying to think of if there was anything I didn't touch on that I wanted to, but I don't know.
Well, I know we'd love to have you back anytime, and we can dig into more stuff. But I think I learned a lot about you. I learned some things to think about for myself, some lessons, some really easy tools. And I'm sure there's a lot more depth to those tools, which is super fascinating. And I think Noah said it earlier, but Noah, what's Meritt's podcast?
Go ahead, Meritt.
It's Q the new you.
Merit doesn't like promoting herself.
It's Q the new
Sorry,
you.
I spoke over it. It's Q the new fuck.
Yeah.
We're gonna link to all of it, and I'll definitely need to if anybody listens, if anybody's out there, you need to go follow her because yeah, it's inspiring.
Yes, it is. We've actually been listening to I've probably listened to like the last 5 or 6 episodes, and it's been very interesting to listen to. So it's been a lot of. I know I'm probably not your typical client or podcast listener, but it is. I think every episode you've said something, I've just been like, now that's something else I got to work on. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Okay.
So
Actually, I have a question. So, like, I mean, you listen to enough episodes. I'm kind of like all over the place with it, but I don't want to just niche down to only helping women? I mean, do you think men would be interested in like learning about mindset? Or is that not something?
For my
I think they should be. I think it's just a tougher sale just because it's, dudes
no, it's
being
not. It's
bros.
not. Yeah, it's not a tough sell. All they gotta be told this is the solution. It's like the ice bath thing. It's like there's a bro movement of like fixing themselves, but the work you're doing starts at the foundational pieces in your brain of you kind of that thing of you are what you think
Mhm.
or whatever, and that's not necessarily what men are getting. So I absolutely think there's interest, um, but it's like if they're not tricked into it, they'll resist. You know what I mean? It's like trying to nail them down or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. I was like, no, there's probably a lot of people, a lot of men that do need to work on some of that stuff, but like, will they? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe if it came from Joe Rogan, maybe.
Yeah, you
But
think
Yeah,
like
I
another
mean,
a male to a male versus like female coming into it.
um, I don't know. I honestly didn't think I would get much out of it when I first started listening, but that's just because I'm a dumb redneck. So, and then I got to listen, and I was like, oh gosh, this makes so much sense. Like, I really need to start working on this. And I know you said it a couple times or in a couple different episodes that, and I might mess this up, but emotions are not
Mhm.
facts, or is that how it
Yeah.
goes? And it's like, oh yeah, that's a really that's a really good thing to like realize. It's not that I didn't realize it, but it's like, especially being on the field and emotions get the best of me. It's like, okay, let's calm down because none of this is helping. Like, none of it's just not helping. Like, just
Mhm.
chill. But it's just different. Like I said, it's just been different things every episode I've listened to. I've been like, oh yeah, that does make a lot of sense. I need to start working on that. So
I
I've
think there's
enjoyed it.
a lot of things, other points that I've heard from you that resonate for me, and I think would resonate for other men is um, concepts around balance in their lives and identity. And so many like men I know kind of commit really hard to one kind of aspect of life, don't necessarily experience balance. And when something about what they've committed to breaks, or for some reason they're unable to do that thing, there's a crisis
Mhm.
there of like kind of restructuring their lives and stuff. I think the topics are super relevant, but yeah, it's like, will we listen? And will we listen to a woman? To answer that directly, no. It's like we should.
Mhm.
And it's like, and why don't we? That's it. We think a woman couldn't be feeling what I'm feeling or understanding what I'm feeling, or we've been told this or that by women all of our lives, or whatever. Who knows the psychoanalysis of it?
Yeah.
Who can figure these things out? What do you think, Noah?
Yeah, I really wish I had a better answer for you, but I'm not in a position to say yes or no, like of like why people wouldn't listen or why dudes wouldn't listen. Um, yeah, I
I
don't
listen.
know.
I listened to Renee Brown. You know, I don't know, or Brene. Is
Mhm.
it Brene? Why do I assume you would know?
Yeah, it's
Um,
Brene Brown.
but you're like, I know her. I listen to Oprah, Brene Brown, Taylor Swift, and yeah, and
The
my
Holy
wife.
Trinity.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, Beyonce is in there for sure. Okay, if we're gonna debate, I'll put, yeah. Anyway, we don't have to get into the whole ranking.
Okay.
But yeah,
Um,
thanks for the question. I hope it was helpful.
yeah, no, it's just something to think about. Um, I have done like a pre-game. Oh my god, it wasn't a questionnaire. It was pre-game thing evaluate and then a post-game evaluation too. So
Oh,
pre-game is, what are your thoughts going into the game? How do you feel? I don't know, is a goal that you want to do on the field. And then the post eval was what worked um, as a team, what didn't work, what can we do differently. Um, I mean, I don't know if my team, because I sent it in like the group chat, I don't know if my team like enjoyed that, but I wonder if that could be something that could be helpful to other teams.
yeah, that sounds super helpful. We got to man up and feel our feelings and deal with our own thoughts, deal with our own heads. Um, it's an issue. So you made this, you shared it with your team.
Hmm.
They haven't given you feedback. They haven't said,
Well,
I used this.
this was like, I don't know, 2 years ago, maybe. So
Okay.
it's been a while. But I think if you consistently do that, and um, and again, I don't know, my mindset has changed around who I am and who I am as a player too, um, which
Hmm.
I am enjoying myself in my time and the time on the field a lot more than I have in the
Mm.
past.
And is it because of that kind of work you're doing
Yeah,
that you're also coaching? Yeah.
yeah, because
Like, yeah,
oh,
I, I feel like if the sales pitch is, do you want to enjoy your time on the field more? To me, that's yes, because I haven't been. I haven't been enjoying my time on the field for like probably 2 or 3 since COVID. Really, COVID took the wind out of my sails big time.
yeah,
So, like, if that's what you're selling, uh, I'm buying.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had another friend who was struggling with that too. And he was like, I don't know if I should quit or what I should do anytime. But I do like that. Um, I know. I'm sorry. This is like, get on these. I told you I could talk about this stuff a lot. Hopefully, there's some hurling thrown in there.
Hey, we get it. We like to talk. Yeah, totally. It's all relative.
Yeah,
All leads us back. I think if we can find tools that keep people enjoying the game, um, as long as they can, as long as they're healthy, mentally and physically fit, take care of all parts of our club members. That's important stuff. Um, so I'm here for it.
yeah. I have played a team that they just yell at each other all the time on the field, and it's like, "Oh my gosh, I would not be able to play with them." I would literally
Yeah.
be like,
No, I get that
"Fuck
when I
off."
see, yeah, I get anxiety when there's kind of those young 20, mid 20-year-old Irish players involved because they bring that kind of intensity that may not be healthy, but it's loud.
Yeah,
And it's like, grown ass adults aren't trying to hear. Um, but no, that gives me anxiety for sure.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I don't like playing against men because this happened too in like pickup soccer. They would get hit and then they would just bitch about it and keep bitching about getting hit. It's like if you don't want to play a contact sport, then get off the field. Like, why are you complaining about everything that is going on?
Oh yeah,
But
dude, I can't
anyway,
stand the complaining. Like speaking, I thought what I really liked about hurling, what I would watch videos online was
Be right back.
uh, the lack of flopping and complaining to the ref. From what I tell,
mm,
it didn't seem to happen as much, but um, you see a lot of it at like the most basic not competitive tournaments, people getting all bent out of shape. I'm like, dude, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
It's also like, this isn't nationals, or this isn't, I don't know. It's just like, we're out here trying to have fun, trying to grow our clubs and be competitive, but that's not my flavor of competition.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of this of like, yeah, just like bent out of shape about stuff.
Yeah.
But
And probably because they don't, or they lack emotional maturity, you know?
yeah.
But
Totally.
yeah, I think having a healthy vibe on the team or as a team definitely helps keeping people around and people enjoying
Yeah.
playing because you're enjoying being together. And
I think if we're comparing Nashville and Knoxville, I know Nashville has a healthy vibe, but we don't satisfy, my critique is that like we don't satisfy the competitive side of it to keep people around. Like we've got the welcoming culture, the friendly culture, a lot of positive things, but like what Knoxville has is like that plus, and I don't know how y'all do it, but the competitive culture as well to keep athletes engaged, over the long term and not just for like one season. But what we kind of struggle with organizing ourselves around, maybe it's we do too much. Maybe we just do too much. Maybe that's as simple as that, where so we can't dedicate towards really specific goals throughout the year for competition. I don't know.
what do you mean y'all do too much?
Thinking about our pub league and if we're organizing a tournament that year and just kind of spreading out the resources. Um, we have Gaelic football, and last year things went really well with Gaelic football, which was great. And we have some new leaders in it too, taking some ownership, and on the hurling side as well. So I think I'm kind of speaking with some outdated perspective, and no one knows more, but that's just kind of like how it was in the past.
Yeah. And again, like we only have hurling to focus on. So,
No, but Buckley, I think you're right about that. But I think this year we are working on actively trying to change that with the leadership that we have here in Nashville. We've got multiple people helping out with a lot of things, whereas in the years past, it's just been one person trying to do way too many things at one time. And, it's nothing really was focused on because everything was split between 3 or 4 different things and everything fell by the wayside. And now you've got groups of people that are focused on each sport.
Mm-hmm.
We've got, and the other behind the scenes stuff, we have people focused on that as well. So a lot of it's going to hopefully even out, and we're going to be able to offer some areas for more competition here in Nashville. Basically, if you want to come play Gaelic football or hurling in Nashville, reach out to us. And that's not just Knoxville, but y'all are always welcome. Anyone listening, if y'all want to come to Music City and go drink on Broadway,
oh
let us
gosh.
know.
Yeah, I can tell you where to buy some fresh new cowboy boots.
Same.
Man,
Yeah.
when we were in Spain before we went to Ireland, we we went out and people were like, "Oh, where are you from?" And we're like, "We're from Knoxville." They're like, "Oh, I love Nashville. Isn't that where blah 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 plays?" I'm like, "Yep, yep, that's it." So like nobody knows Knoxville, but they know Nashville.
They sure do. Some of them know Memphis. If they're Elvis fans,
Yeah.
they'll know about Memphis maybe. But yep.
Yeah. Elvis, Johnny Cash, and Jack Daniels. That's about all anyone knows about Tennessee. So
And Dolly Parton.
Um. Oh man,
how could I forget?
Yeah.
Also,
our
one of the Holy
queen.
Trinity in my opinion. Yes.
Yeah, the Trinity grows. Okay, Dolly can have Taylor's spot until Dolly kicks it. She's in there. Yeah, well, I think the purpose of this podcast is to give different perspectives about American hurlers to across the country, and I think you've shared an incredible one. One a perspective any player can look up to and follow, and they can do that literally because you post. So I encourage them to do that. But if there's ever anything you want to come back and deep dive on, more than welcome anytime. But yeah, Noah, you got anything?
Nope. I just appreciate you coming on, and yeah, it was fun having you on, and it's fun getting to know you even more.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, this was fun. I feel like, I don't know, halfway through I got like really nervous. So hopefully that sounds okay.
Oh yeah. I'm so nervous I could throw up right now. So you're not alone. Don't worry about it. And I think we're new to this, and it's just another practice session. And I hope in a few months' time, if we're manifesting, if we're setting our vision,
Mm-hmm.
in a few months' time, we get to do another round at another take at this, all three of us, and we're even better. You know what I mean? That's what I hope.
Yeah.
You should, Buckley. Then you should come to Calgary with us in late June, early July, and bring
Stop.
Molly and the kid.
Stop it. I told Killian I can't commit to anything. This podcast is my contribution at the moment. That's all I can do right now.
I'll take it. I will take it.
All right.
But
Thanks
Meritt,
again.
in all seriousness, thank you for joining us and agreeing to do an episode with us. I really appreciate it, and it has been an absolute blast. So thank you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course. Thanks for having me.
Follow
Okay.
us on all social medias, and we'll see you next month.